Hello and welcome, everyone. If you are learning English and want to feel more confident in job interviews, you are in the right place.
That's right. Today, we will help you understand how to use English in a job interview. We will talk about useful words, common questions, and good ways to answer them.
Job interviews can feel scary, but don't worry. If you know the right words and phrases, you can feel more relaxed and ready.
That's right. Today, we will help you understand how to use English in a job interview. We will talk about useful words, common questions, and good ways to answer them.
This question sounds easy, but many people don't know how to answer it. When an interviewer asks, "Can you tell me about yourself?" they don't want to hear your whole life story.
Yes, let's start with the simple question that almost every job interview begins with. Can you tell me about yourself?
A good way to answer this question is to follow 3 steps. First, say your name and a little about your background. Second, talk about your work experience or studies. Third, explain why you are interested in the job.
That's true. They want to know about your skills, experience, and what makes you a good fit for the job.
That's a great answer. It is short, clear, and positive.
Let's listen to an example. Imagine you are applying for a job at a coffee shop. You could say, "My name is Maria. I have worked in customer service for 2 years. I enjoy talking to people and helping customers. That's why I want to work here, because I love working in a team and making customers happy."
Another tip is to practice your answers before the interview. You can say them in front of a mirror or with a friend.
Yes, and remember, try to speak slowly and clearly in an interview. It's okay to be a little nervous, but taking a deep breath and speaking calmly will help you sound more confident.
Your strengths are things you are good at. The interviewer wants to know what skills or qualities make you a good employee.
That's a great idea. Now, let's look at another common question. What are your strengths?
For example, if you are applying for a job as a waiter or waitress, you could say, "I am very friendly, and I work well under pressure. I can remember orders quickly, and I enjoy helping customers."
That's a great answer. It shows that you have the right skills for the job.
Yes, and if you are applying for an office job, you might say, "I am very organized. I can work with computers, and I am good at solving problems."
Very nice. When you answer this question, try to give examples. Instead of just saying, "I am hardworking," you can say, "I always finish my work on time, and I like to help my team."
Giving examples makes your answer stronger. It helps the interviewer see that you really have these skills.
That's right. Interviews are not only about what you say, but also about how you say it. Try to smile and make eye contact. It helps you look more confident. Now that we've talked about introducing yourself and your strengths, let's look at another important question. What are your weaknesses?
This is a tricky question because you don't want to say something that makes you look bad, but you also don't want to say, "I have no weaknesses." Everyone has something they can improve.
A good way to answer this question is to talk about a small weakness and then explain how you are working to improve it.
For example, you could say, "Sometimes I focus too much on small details, but I am learning to manage my time better and focus on the big picture."
That's a great answer. It shows that you are aware of your weakness and that you are trying to get better.
Another example could be, "I used to feel nervous speaking in front of people, but I am practicing and getting more confident."
Yes, the key is to choose a weakness that is not too serious and show that you are improving.
Let's move on to another important question. Why do you want to work here?
Employers want to know why you are interested in their company. They don't just want someone who needs a job. They want someone who cares about the work.
A good way to answer this question is to talk about what you like about the company and how your skills match the job.
For example, if you are applying for a job at a clothing store, you could say, "I love fashion, and I enjoy helping people choose clothes that make them feel good. That's why I think I would be a good fit for this job."
That's a great answer. It shows that you are interested in the job and that you have the right skills.
If you are applying for a job in a hotel, you might say, "I enjoy meeting new people and making sure they have a good experience. I think this job would be a great way to use my customer service skills."
Yes, The most important thing is to show that you are excited about the job and that you have something to offer.
Another question you might hear in an interview is, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Employers ask this question because they want to know if you have goals. They also want to see if you plan to stay with the company.
A good way to answer this question is to talk about how you want to grow in your career.
For example, if you are applying for a job as a receptionist, you could say, in 5 years, I hope to have more experience in customer service and maybe move into a management position.
That's a strong answer. It shows that you want to grow and improve.
If you are applying for a job as a chef, you could say, I want to learn more about cooking and maybe become a head chef in the future.
That's a great answer too. The key is to show that you have a plan and that this job fits into your goals.
And remember, even if you don't know exactly what you want in 5 years, it's okay. Just try to give a positive answer that shows you are motivated. Now, let's talk about a very common interview question. Why should we hire you?
This question can feel difficult because it sounds like you have to convince the interviewer that you are the best person for the job. But don't worry, the best way to answer this question is to talk about your skills and experience and how they match the job.
Yes, you don't need to say, because I am the best. Instead, focus on what makes you a good fit. For example, if you are applying for a job as a cashier, you could say, I am friendly, I work well under pressure, and I have experience handling money. I think these skills will help me do a great job in this position.
That's a great answer. It is simple, clear, and focused on the job.
If you don't have experience, you can still give a strong answer. You could say, I am a fast learner, I work hard, and I enjoy helping customers. I am excited to learn and be part of your team.
That's a great point. Employers don't always look for experience. They also want someone who is eager to learn and work hard.
Another important question is, how do you handle stress or pressure?
Many jobs can be stressful sometimes, so employers want to know if you can stay calm and do your work, even when things get busy.
A good way to answer this question is to give an example of a time when you stayed calm under pressure.
For example, if you worked in a restaurant, you could say, when the restaurant is very busy, I stay focused and make sure I help each customer as quickly as possible. I try to stay calm and work as a team with my coworkers.
That's a strong answer. It shows that you can handle stress in a professional way.
If you worked in an office, you could say, when I have a lot of work to do, I make a list and focus on one task at a time. That helps me stay organized and finish my work on time.
That's a great strategy. Employers like to hear that you have a plan to manage stress.
Now, let's talk about another common question. Do you prefer to work alone or in a team?
This is an important question because different jobs require different skills. Some jobs need teamwork, and some jobs need people who can work alone.
A good way to answer this question is to say that you can do both. Most jobs require a mix of teamwork and independent work.
For example, you could say, I enjoy working in a team because I like sharing ideas and helping my coworkers, but I can also work alone and stay focused on my tasks.
That's a great answer. It shows that you are flexible and can do both.
Yes, employers like people who can work well with others but also take responsibility for their own work.
One more question that often comes up in interviews is, what motivates you?
Employers ask this question because they want to know what keeps you excited about work.
A good way to answer this question is to think about what makes you happy at work.
If you like helping people, you could say, I feel happy when I help customers and make their day better. That's why I enjoy customer service jobs.
If you like solving problems, you could say, I enjoy finding solutions and fixing problems. It makes me feel proud when I complete a difficult task.
Those are great examples. The key is to show that you have a positive attitude toward work. Now let's talk about another important question you might hear in a job interview. Tell me about a time you had a problem at work and how you solved it.
This question is tricky because the interviewer wants to see how you handle challenges. They want to know if you can stay calm, think clearly, and solve problems.
A good way to answer this question is to use a simple structure. First, describe the problem. Second, explain what you did to solve it. Third, share the result.
That's a great way to do it. Let's listen to an example. Imagine you worked in a restaurant, and one day, a customer was unhappy with their food. You could say, one time, a customer was upset because their food was cold. I apologized and quickly brought them a new meal. They were happy, and they thanked me for my help.
That's a perfect answer. It shows that you can stay professional and solve problems in a positive way.
Yes, and if you worked in an office, you might say, one time, had an important deadline, but my computer stopped working. I stayed calm and used another computer to finish my work on time.
That's another great example. It shows that you can think fast and find a solution.
Let's move on to another question. What do you know about our company?
Employers ask this question to see if you did some research before the interview. They want to know if you are really interested in working for them.
A good way to answer is to mention something specific about the company. You can talk about their products, services, or values.
For example, if you are applying to a hotel, you could say, I know that your hotel is famous for great customer service, and you have locations in many countries. I would love to be part of your team.
That's a great answer. It shows that you learned something about the company before your interview.
Yes, and if you are applying to a supermarket, you could say, I know that your store focuses on fresh and high-quality food, and you have been in business for over 20 years. I think it would be a great place to work.
That's perfect. Even a little research can make a big difference in an interview.
Now, let's talk about an important question that comes at the end of the interview. Do you have any questions for us?
Many people say no to this question, but that's a mistake. Employers like it when you ask a question because it shows that you are interested in the job.
A good question to ask is something about the company or the job. For example, you could ask, what do you like best about working here?
That's a great question because it makes the interviewer talk about their experience.
You can also ask, what does a typical day in this job look like?
Yes, this question helps you understand more about the job.
And if you want to know about career growth, you could ask, are there opportunities for learning and development in this company?
That's a very smart question. It shows that you are thinking about the future.
Yes, asking a question at the end of the interview makes a good impression. It shows that you are serious about the job.
Now that we've talked about common interview questions, let's discuss something just as important: body language and tone of voice.
That's right. In a job interview, your words are important, but how you say them also matters. Your body language and voice can show confidence or nervousness.
Let's start with eye contact. When you talk to the interviewer, try to make eye contact. This shows that you are confident and paying attention.
But don't stare too much. Just look at the interviewer naturally, like you do in a normal conversation.
That's a good point. Now, let's talk about posture. Sit up straight and don't cross your arms. If you sit with an open posture, you will look more friendly and confident.
Yes, and don't forget to smile. A friendly smile can make a big difference. It helps you look positive and professional.
Another important thing is your tone of voice. Speak clearly and not too fast. If you talk too quickly, the interviewer might not understand you.
Yes, and try to sound interested in the job. If your voice is too quiet or flat, the interviewer might think you are not excited about the opportunity.
That's true. Now, let's talk about what to bring to an interview.
Good idea. First, you should bring a copy of your resume. Even if you sent it online, it's always good to have a paper copy.
Yes, you might also bring a notebook and a pen. You can use it to write down important information during the interview.
And if the job requires certificates, like a language certificate or a training certificate, bring those too.
Another tip is to dress appropriately. Wear clean and professional clothes. Even if the job is casual, dressing neatly shows respect.
That's right. If you're not sure what to wear, it's better to dress a little more formal than too casual.
Now, let's talk about what to do before the interview.
A great way to prepare is to practice your answers. You can practice in front of a mirror or with a friend.
Yes, and research the company. Learn a little about what they do so you can answer questions better.
Also, Make sure you know where the interview is and how to get there. Arriving late is a bad first impression.
Yes, try to arrive 10 to 15 minutes early. That way, you have time to relax before the interview starts.
Another tip is to turn off your phone before the interview. You don't want it to ring while you are talking.
That's a great point. Now, let's talk about what to do after the interview.
If the interviewer says they will contact you in a few days, be patient. But if you don't hear anything after a week, you can send a short email to ask about the job.
Yes, you could write something like, "Hello, I enjoyed my interview with you last week. I am very interested in the position. Do you have any updates on the hiring process?"
That's a simple and polite way to follow up.
And even if you don't get the job, don't feel bad. Every interview is good practice.
Yes, if you don't get the job, you can always ask, "Can you give me feedback on my interview? I would love to improve for the future."
That's a great idea. Learning from each interview will help you do better next time.
Now that we've covered common interview questions, body language, and how to prepare, let's talk about how to make a great final impression in an interview.
Yes, the last few minutes of your interview are very important. The way you end the conversation can leave a strong impression on the interviewer.
One simple but powerful thing to do is thank the interviewer. A polite way to end the interview is to say something like, "Thank you for your time. I really enjoyed learning more about this job and your company."
That's a great way to show appreciation. You can also say, "I'm excited about this opportunity, and I hope to be part of your team."
Yes, it's a small detail, but it shows confidence and enthusiasm.
Another important thing is to shake hands if it's appropriate. If the interviewer offers a handshake, make sure it is firm but not too strong.
That's a good tip. And don't forget to smile as you leave. A friendly smile makes you look positive and professional.
Now, let's talk about what happens after the interview.
If the company tells you when they will contact you, be patient. But if you don't hear from them after a week, you can send a short, polite message.
Yes, and remember, even if you don't get the job, don't give up. Every interview is a chance to learn and improve.
That's right. And now, before we end, let's review some key points. Prepare before the interview by practicing answers and learning about the company. Use confident body language, sit up straight, make eye contact, and smile. Speak clearly and show enthusiasm for the job. Ask smart questions at the end of the interview. Always thank the interviewer and follow up politely if needed.
These small things can make a big difference. Job interviews can feel scary, but with practice, they get easier.
Yes, and the more you practice speaking English for interviews, the more confident you will feel.
We hope this podcast helped you feel more prepared and ready to succeed in your next interview.
If you found this helpful, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and share this with your family and friends who are also learning English.
Thank you for listening, and good luck with your job interviews.